driven deep to right center field. See ya! They've done it again!
Home of champions.
It is a beautiful early evening here toward the end of March in George M. Steinbrenner Field, and because it's a night game, some kids will get to go to the ballpark. Why? Because they're not in school. In fact, here at Steinbrenner Field, the Yankees have the highest average attendance of any team in the Grapefruit League. They've drawn over 115,000 fans through those turnstiles. And tonight, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in an exhibition game from George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You know, opening night is Sunday in Boston against the Red Sox as the Yankees begin defense of their World Championship. Now, in the last week of spring training, the last thing you want is anybody to get hurt, and the Yankees had to hold their breath last night.
Well, them and their fans as well. Mark Teixeira was hit by a pitch in a game in Sarasota against the Baltimore Orioles. Jeremy Guthrie with a fastball off of Teixeira's right elbow, immediately had to come out of the game and get some treatment. And you can see that pitch once again. He was in immediate pain, but he's going to be all right. A couple of days out of the lineup. He'll be ready Sunday night when the Yankees face the Red Sox, of course. He's a big part of the Yankees offense.
Well, that's a big story that happened in spring training. Here are some of the Yankee stories throughout spring training. You got Teixeira. Now, center field and left field still undecided between Granderson and Gardner, who's going to play where. Phil Hughes won the battle for the fifth starter role, and that means Jabba Chamberlain was sent to the bullpen. Chad Godin was in that battle. He was released, subsequently signed by the A's, and Alfredo Aceves, also in that battle, has been bothered by a little bit of a bulky back. Now, of those stories, which one was the biggest for you, Kenny?
I think it was Phil Hughes becoming the fifth starter in the Yankee rotation because it affected so many pitchers on the Yankee staff. Chad Godin got released because Phil Hughes got that spot. Godin was in the running for it. I think Phil Hughes is going to do a fine job. Remember, the Yankees groomed him to be a starter all along. He was great in the bullpen last year, but I think starting is in his future, and it's going to be for a long time.
Now, speaking of starting, let's take a look at the starting matchup in this game, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Mark Zepchinski will go for the Blue Jays 0-1, 5.06. Sergio Mitre will go for the Yankees, another guy who lost out in that battle for the fifth spot. No record, but a 3.38 ERA. Now, it's nighttime, so the stars should be out, right? Well, they are for the Yankees. The captain, Derek Jeter, is in the lineup, and he will lead off. A little bit later on in the first inning, you'll see Alex Rodriguez. All of that coming up next, right here on Yes.
For 500 years, Koreans have been practicing a unique heat therapy. This historical therapy was revealed by the 12 different types of saunas to release your daily fatigues and to restore yourself. Refresh your body and mind with the heat of a 500-year-old tradition. King Spa and Fitness.
We're Big Bucks Auto. You've seen us on TV.
You've heard us on the radio.
We pay top dollar for thousands of vehicles, and we're still buying stronger than ever.
Don't spend your hard-earned money on costly ads that just don't work. Then have psychos coming to your home.
No more bait-and-switch trade-ins and not knowing what you're really getting for your car.
Drive in for your free cash appraisal. We'll make you an offer and give you big bucks on the spot.
Even if it's leased or financed. Call us today at Big Bucks Auto, 888-44-BUCKS.
You value your friends. So does DirecTV. Bob's worth 100. So are Carrie, Ann, and Sue. For every friend you refer to DirecTV, you get $100, and they get $100 on top of our new customer offer. Just give your account number to your friends and have them call 1-877-4-100 each. They must have your account number when they order. This offer's only good for a limited time, so hurry. Then celebrate and watch the Benjamins stack up.
Tonight's game on Yes is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Volkswagen dealers. Visit tristatebw.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by DirecTV, it'll change your life. Call 1-800-DirecTV. It's a beautiful night here in Tampa. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Toyota. There's a little bit of a chill in the air, 63 degrees, but it's much better than in the Bronx, where it's been raining all day, gray and dreary, and just 42 degrees. Well, welcome to another edition of Yankees Baseball. We hope you've enjoyed the spring training game so far, and the regular season not too far off. It's Sunday night. We'll have it right here on Yes. Yankees against the Red Sox from Fenway Park, the first of 162 games in the regular season, and the Yankees hope that there's more after that in the postseason as well. You can see they're exchanging the lineups at home plate. The Yankees have not had the greatest spring record-wise. They are 11-13, and the Blue Jays are 10-11. And that's the way it's been so far. The Yankees are not the type of team, though, Kenny, that has to worry about wins and losses. They just want to get out of Dodge without an injury.
Yeah, get everybody ready for the regular season. A lot of these games are decided late in ball games when a lot of minor league players are in the ball game, and it's not your regulars who have the final say as to what happens to your spring schedule. So get the regulars ready, including Alex Rodriguez. He'll be in the lineup on Sunday night in Boston, batting in the cleanup spot for the Yankees as they look to defend their 27th world title.
Now, we talked about this in the open, and I got a chance to talk to Mark Teixeira. He said he was angry yesterday when he got hit. He said he usually doesn't react like that. But he said, I was so angry because you don't want to get hurt right now. You want everything to be fine, and that last week is important because that's when pitchers and batters want to be locked in.
Well, that's true, but you look at what Jeremy Guthrie has done this spring for the Orioles. He has not been locked in. I mean, his ERA is over 8. He walked 4 batters in last night's game. He also hit Francisco Cervelli. So he is, it looks like he's not ready to begin the season.
Well, we're ready to begin this game. As you can see, the Yankees have taken the field. Sergio Mitre is making his way out to the mound, about to pick up that baseball. And we are ready to roll with baseball here on Yes. Tonight's Blue Jays starting lineup presented by BMW. And this is the group that Sergio Mitre is going to face. Jose Bautista in right field will lead off. He's had a very good spring training, hitting .450 with 4 homers and 7 ribbies. Aaron Hill, the second baseman, bats second. Batting third and DHing, Adam Lynn. Vernon Wells in center field will clean up. Batting fifth and playing first base, Lyle Overbay. Edwin Encarnacion is at third. He's going to bat sixth. Batting seventh and playing left field, Travis Snyder. Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop, will hit eighth. And batting ninth and catching, Raul Chavez.
29-year-old right-hander Sergio Mitre getting a start this spring. This will be his 6th game, 3.38. You can see he's had a very good spring training. 14 strikeouts, only 4 walks and 11 hits in 16 innings. And opponents are batting just 190 against Sergio Mitre. Let's check out the scouting report. When he's on, he's got that ground game going. Last year, left-handed batters hit him at .421, but that was because his sinker kind of flattened out. But when he got later on in ball games, because he was recovering from Tommy John surgery. And some nights you have it, some nights you don't when you're recovering from Tommy John surgery. So now he's 2 years away from it. Should be much better, much longer this year. Versatile type pitcher. He can spot start. He can go to the bullpen, use him for an inning or multiple innings. Sergio Mitre could be a big part of the Yankee pitching staff this year.
Now, in that battle for the 5th spot that we've talked about so much, Kenny, a lot of people think that Sergio Mitre finished second. And actually, he might have been the best of all, but Phil Hughes, they really want to be a starter. But Sergio Mitre was second, and Alfredo Aceves was probably third, and Jabba finished fourth with Godin fifth, and Jabba will end up in the bullpen, and that's where Sergio Mitre will as well. But if you go by how they finish, Kenny, maybe Sergio Mitre is the first one into the rotation if somebody gets hurt.
That could be true because Jabba, maybe his best spot is going to be in the bullpen.
And we're ready to roll here in Tampa as the first pitch is low and away, 1-0. The Blue Jays 10-11. The Yankees had a split squad today. In the afternoon, they were in Disney World to meet the Atlanta Braves, and they lost that one 9-6. There's a high fly ball to right field. Randy Wynn settling underneath it, and he'll put it away for the first out of the first inning. Well, the Yankees defensive alignment brought to you by the Home Depot, doing more on defense. We've already met Randy Wynn, so let's go from there. Randy Wynn's in right. Greg Golson's in center, and Marcus Timms over in left. In the infield, you've got Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Ramiro Pena, Nick Johnson, that's third to first. Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate. Sergio Mitre is on the mound. Here's Aaron Hill. There's a strike. Now, with the 9-6 loss to the Braves, the Yankees are actually 11-14 coming into this game.
So in tonight's nightcap, they're going for the split.
There's a strike.
Aaron Hill's having a great spring training. He's hitting .433. Here's the second baseman in the American League who won the Silver Slugger Award last year. Represents the best hitter at his position. So he got that as a second baseman. Hit 36 home runs a year ago. Look out.
Wasting the 0-2 pitch, now 1-2.
Yeah, that's not a waste. I mean, that's the way it used to be all the time. 0-2, you expect one up around the shoulders. That sets up the outside corner. He wants to go away with a breaking ball.
And the 1-2. Lined right at Nick Johnson, 2 away.
Kind of a humpback liner. Got in on his hands a little bit. Mitre with a running fastball, and Hill is retired. Michael, it should be interesting to see what these Blue Jays do this year with the absence of Roy Halladay. That was almost like guaranteed win day or night in any 3 or 4 game series that he was going to pitch.
Here's Adam Lind. You know, a lot of the Blue Jay players are concerned about the thing that the average fan would be concerned about, losing Halladay. Not so much the victories, but the 230 innings.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a domino effect. That means you're going to have to use the bullpen more, and then the bullpen might break down. You might not be able to get as many innings out of them on other days. So it really does have a domino effect, and has a domino effect on the other starters as well. The way he worked, the way he prepared. Everybody watched that and learned from that. So losing Halladay was a big deal.
Well, their opening day pitcher is going to be Sean Markham. I think Halladay has been the opening day pitcher the last 8 years.
And the 0-2. Strike 3. Adam Lind down looking. Fastball on the inside part of the plate. So Mitre works a 1-2-3 first inning against the Toronto Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays go down in order. Toronto nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat.
Right now, all over New York, people are becoming shining examples of energy efficiency.
We fixed the farm.
By changing all their old-fashioned light bulbs to Energy Star qualified CFLs that use less energy and last longer. Upload a video of your big change-out and you could be featured in our next TV commercial. You'll also win a free home performance assessment and free bulb makeovers for 10 of your neighbors. Upload your video at shiningexampleny.com.
Honda Accord and Toyota Camry stand behind their powertrain for up to 60,000 miles. Chevy Malibu stands behind theirs for up to 100,000 miles, which makes it pretty clear who's standing out front. A Consumer's Digest Best Buy 2 years running. Chevy Malibu. Compare it to anyone, and may the best car win.
Qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on this 2010 Malibu LS for around $199 a month. Call for details. Call 877-64-CHEVY.
Well, the Blue Jays go down meekly in the top of the first inning. Now it's the Yankees' chance. So let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. Leading off for the Yankees, their captain, their shortstop, Derek Jeter. Nick Johnson at first base is going to hit second. Hitting third and playing left field, Marcus Thames. Alex Rodriguez at third base cleans up. Batting fifth, playing right field, Randy Wynn. Ramiro Pena, the second baseman, bats sixth. Batting seventh, boy, is this guy trying to make this team in a long shot. John Weber, the DH, and Weber's hitting .563 on the spring. Francisco Cervelli will catch. He'll bat eighth, and boy, he's having good spring training as well. Greg Golson in center field is going to bat ninth.
Well, 25-year-old Mark Zepchinski on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. This spring, he's made 4 starts. His ERA is somewhat elevated. 10 strikeouts in 16 innings, 6 walks, and a couple of home runs allowed. This guy is a single ball type pitcher. Let's check out our scout report on Zepchinski. He's got a heavy sinker, gets a lot of grounders. Set a Jays rookie record last year when he struck out 7 in his initial start in the major leagues. And he's been solid numbers in the minor leagues. In 4 years in the minors, or make that 3 years in the minors, he never had an earned run average of 2.93.
Well, the Blue Jays are going to need starters this year. A lot of people coming back from surgery, and Roy Halladay is not coming back. Here's Derek Jeter. And the left-hander deals.
Well, talking to Cito Gaston before the game, the last two spots are still open. 3 pitchers are battling for it, including Zepchinski. Brett Cecil will pitch tomorrow. Dana Evelyn pitched yesterday and was outstanding. So those 3 guys are fighting for 2 spots. Sean Markham, Ricky Romero, and Brandon Morrow have the first 3 in the Blue Jays rotation.
There's Cito, 2-time world champion as manager of the Blue Jays.
You won't be able to say that next year.
This is it for him.
This is it. You know, it'd be interesting to see how this plays out, Michael, because he's a lame duck manager. You know, and the Blue Jays aren't looked upon as the contenders as Jeter draws a leadoff walk this season. I think you got Bobby Cox in Atlanta, the same situation, but the Braves could be in it. They might want to send Bobby off in style, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case for Cito Gaston in Toronto.
You wonder, since it's his last year and they're not expecting that much, would they hang with him if the team has a really bad year, or would they end up firing him? That's not the way you would want to have that guy go out.
Well, I think what it does, it gives the new general manager, Alex Anthopoulos, a chance to maybe review and pick his own guy to be the manager next year.
Nick Johnson takes strike. So Nick Johnson with 3 home runs. He's tied with Mark Teixeira for the most home runs in the spring for the Yankees.
Zepchinski has a good breaking ball as well. He was tough on lefties last year. At the big league level, he held him to a .220 batting average.
Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop, said, hey, I got his foot on the way by, and he's talking with the second base umpire, Damian Beal, but Beal's not buying, as Derek Jeter with a stolen base.
Here's Derek. This is the time of year where the games start to look more like regular season games. His hand might have been on the base before anyway, so that's a tough call for any umpire. The umpire was not near the bag. Actually, he was a little closer towards the mound.
Nick Johnson with a ground ball up the middle. That should score a run. Jeter rounds third. They're waving him home. He will score. The throw comes into second. An RBI single for Nick Johnson. And the Yankees are up 1-0. That's low ball right there. Walk, stolen base, single up the middle.
You know what? I think Nick Johnson was trying to pull the ball to make sure he got Jeter over to third base and 1 out, but he got a bonus. As this ball is going to scoop through the middle into center field, and Nick Johnson has himself a hit and a run batted in to give the Yankees a 1-0 lead. You see Jeter break right away when the ball's hit on the ground. He knows he's going to get at least the third. When the ball gets into center, it's going to come all the way home for the first run of the ball game.
There's Marcus Timms. Hacks at a pitch out of the strike zone, 0-1. Now, this is Tim's money zone right here against left-handers. That's where the Yankees want him to do some damage.
And Timms last year with Detroit got 258 at-bats. Now, at the beginning of the year, he had a strained ribs cage and was on the DL for about 6 weeks. Came back, but you're right, Michael. His job is to hit left-handed pitching, and that's what he's done well over his career. 258 at-bats last year, and he hit 13 home runs.
And 9 homers against righties.
Yeah, somebody hung a few pitches.
Now, he had a big home run in Lakeland the other day against the left-hander Nate Robertson, and Kenny and I were around the batting cage talking to him about it. And only baseball players could be this mean-spirited and biting. And Greg Nettles was standing against the cage and said, heard you had a home run yesterday. And Timms goes, yeah. He goes, about time.
You know what? That sounds like late 70s Yankees.
Yep.
The Bronx Zoo.
Swing and a miss. Got him on off-speed pitch, and Timms down on strikes. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays defensive alignment, brought to you by the Home Depot. Doing more on defense. And this is the way Cito Gaston has set him up. In the outfield, Snyder, Wells, and Bautista left to right. Then Encarnacion, Gonzalez, Hill, and Overbay third to first. Hill was an all-star last year. Raul Chavez behind the plate, and Zepchinski is on the mound where he is now staring down Alex Rodriguez with a runner at first and 1 out. Pitch outside. Alex has had a nice spring. Started slowly, but has picked it up. 297 with a home run. That home run went over the scoreboard in left center field here. 8 RBIs, on-base percentage of .350.
That should have counted for 2. Alex had a big hit the other day in the game that was eventually rained out against Detroit. The Yankees had loaded the bases in the first inning. He got ahead on the count. And you know you're starting to come on as a hitter when you don't miss pitches you should hit. 3-1, 2-0. And he just clocked a line drive single in the left center for 2 runs. Right now the count is 2-0. If Zepchinski gets something in the middle of the plate, here's where you're thinking about doing some business.
Line drive, base hit. He did some business. Single to left field as Nick Johnson scurries to second.
This is when you know you're starting to come on, when you don't foul pitches off, you don't swing through them, when you get ahead on counts. This is what Alex would like to see. Get off to a good start during the course of the season. Right there. Oh, it's much like the pitch that he got the other day with the bases loaded. It was a ball up, about belt high, and a solid line drive into left field.
So Alex has his swing ready for Sunday night, and here is Randy Winn. Now Randy Winn has struggled. He was battling for that left field job, and he's not making a big case for himself at 229. Hitting a little bit better of late, but has yet to drive in a run. The on-base percentage isn't good. And it was between Randy Winn and Brett Gardner. Now Gardner hasn't had the greatest spring either, but he's kind of the incumbent, and he's got the speed that he can sell to Joe Girardi as a starter. So we'll see how that ends up, but everybody assumes it's going to be Gardner in left and Granderson in center, and Randy Winn will come off the bench, and there's the guy that will make the decision.
That's about the last thing that has to be decided.
And some bullpen tweaking, but I think they pretty much know who's going to make it. That one is lofted into right center field, giving chases Bautista, and he'll make the play for the second out. Bautista got a good jump and ran it down. So Winn hit it hard, but Bautista made a good play to get there.
Yeah, the ball was kind of slicing back towards him and couldn't run it through the gap. Randy Winn getting some congratulations for hitting the ball hard. You can see the ball slicing back towards the right fielder, Bautista, who makes the catch. Bautista's an interesting story. He can play just about anywhere on the field for the Blue Jays. He can play all 3 outfield spots, third, first. He's even been a shortstop in his major league career. Probably played a little second base too. Valuable player.
Here is Ramiro Pena with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Yankees lead 1-0, just underway here in Tampa. Fouled away.
This is a time of year where fans are starting to pick their fantasy teams too. A guy like Bautista, you know, because he can play anywhere. You can plug him in anywhere.
You play that fantasy stuff?
No. I like it for real.
I haven't done that either. It takes a lot of work and a lot of thinking. The 0-1. 1-1.
If I have a fantasy, it's not going to be about baseball.
One count on Pena. Number 6 batter in the Yankee lineup. Zipchinski will set at the letters. Good breaking ball as Pena swings over the top.
Here's what Michael called, and it is a good hook from Zepchinski. Dots and then breaks. What I mean by the dot, it gets to a certain apex and it breaks down sharply into the strike zone or just out of it. Just 25 years old.
Grounded foul. Pena's going to be the Yankees' backup infielder. They'll carry 1. They'll carry 2 outfielders. They'll carry a backup catcher.
Remember last year when he got sent down to Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Yankees actually had him play a little outfield too, just to make him even more valuable off the bench. And you're starting to see that more and more in the major leagues. That 25th player is actually more than one player. He can play several positions, maybe even a decent off the bench as a pinch hitter. Very valuable to the manager, so he can give his other players, his regulars, a day off. And that's Ramiro Pena, second, short, or third.
2-2. Grounded to first. Sure-handed Lyle Overbay takes it and steps on the bag, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We played 1 at Steinbrenner Field. It's 1-0 Yankees on yes.
Kyle!
What's up, Mom?
You went on a 29,000-mile joyride in my brand new BMW?
Mom, it's pre-owned.
But your father said it was new.
Yeah, new as in you didn't have it before.
Looks like new, performs like new. And with a warranty for up to 6 years or 100,000 miles, it's hard to believe it's pruned.
Wait till your father hears about this.
He knows all about it.
For 500 years, Koreans have been practicing a unique heat therapy. This historical therapy was revealed by the 12 different types of saunas to release your daily fatigues and to restore yourself. Refresh your body and mind with the heat of a 500-year-old tradition. King Spa and Fitness.
We're Big Bucks Auto. You've seen us on TV.
You've heard us on the radio.
We pay top dollar for thousands of vehicles, and we're still buying stronger than ever.
Don't spend your hard-earned money on costly ads that just don't work. Then have psychos coming to your home.
No more bait-and-switch trade-ins and not knowing what you're really getting for your car.
Drive in for your free cash appraisal. We'll make you an offer and give you big bucks on the spot.
Even if it's leased or financed. Call us today at Big Bucks Auto, 888-44-BUCKS.
Yes, catch another new Yankees classic, revisiting last year's postseason clinchers. This one featuring the ALCS Game 6 with solid pitching from Andy Pettitte, timely hitting, a little help from the Angels. The Yankees clinched a 40th World Series berth. See it again on a new Yankees classic Thursday night at 7, only on Yes. We're quite proud here at Yes to continue our 9th year tradition, the Yankees being undefeated on Yankee Classic. I believe it's 1,670 to nothing. They have never lost a Yankee Classic game. And Andy Pettitte added to that total with that Game 6 victory. Vernon Wells will lead off against Sergio Mitre. You know, talk about the Blue Jays and where they finish and how they do. They need Vernon Wells to return to being Vernon Wells. He's disappeared the last couple of years because of injuries, and he's signed to a very, very high contract, which is untradeable. So either he turns things around for them or he becomes an albatross in the organization.
Well, he had wrist surgery in the offseason. I talked to the hitting coach, Dwayne Murphy, and Murphy, who was the first base coach last year.
Chopped to short. Jeter waits for the big hop, fires to first, and they just get Vernon Wells for the first out.
And he said that Vernon Wells, there's Murph, who used to be a Gold Glove center fielder for the Oakland A's back in the day, and he too could swing the bat. He said that Vernon Wells is swinging much better this spring. Last year on his signature pitch that he hits, that high fastball, he couldn't get around on it. It was obvious to me something was wrong. So the wrist surgery seems to have straightened him out. As far as the Blue Jays hitting this spring, they're hitting .295 as a team in spring training. So whatever Murphy's saying, they're kind of listening to it.
Another guy they need to turn it around is Lyle Overbay. Both Overbay and Wells were bothered by wrist problems last year. It's hard to hit with a bad wrist.
Overbay's hitting .435 this spring.
And if Overbay can turn it around and become a dangerous force, you know what? He becomes trade bait for them.
What's the last year of his contract?
So it's a perfect guy to trade, and a team might take that on. You get a young player out of it. I don't know if they can trade Wells unless they're willing to eat a lot of that contract. He makes about $18 million a year.
Well, now with Halladay gone, Wells has been there longer than anybody. So he's kind of like the face of the team.
Grounded to first, Nick Johnson. 2 outs.
You know, we're used to seeing Mark Teixeira at first base, and he's a Gold Glove first baseman. But Nick Johnson is no slouch over there. He's got a good glove at first, and the days that Teixeira either is a designated hitter or out of the lineup altogether, the Yankees aren't going to lose all that much defensively. Nick Johnson makes the play, waves off Mitre, and there's 2 outs here in the second inning.
Here's Edwin Encarnacion.
Yeah, if there is one Blue Jay hitter who's behind the others, it's Encarnacion. He came late to spring training, was still bothered by a sore wrist. He too had wrist surgery. I wonder if they had 3 for the price of 1. All these guys getting wrist surgery. You can see he's got that left wrist still taped up. And to add insult to injury, in the offseason, Encarnacion, did you read about that?
No, what?
On New Year's Eve, was celebrating in the Dominican Republic, and some fireworks went off near his face, and he had to be taken to the hospital. That's not a way to bring in the new year.
No. Count 1-2. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. 2 impressive innings for Sergio Mitre as he retires the Blue Jays in order again. 1-2-3. An inning and a half in the books. New York Yankees 1, the Toronto Blue Jays 0. You are watching Yes.
The 2009 New York Yankees are world champions.
Field-level seats between the bases at Yankee Stadium are now on sale on a full season ticket plans and partial season ticket plans basis. These plans are now available for a limited time. Log on to Yankees.com. Call the Season Ticket Sales and Service Department at 718-293-6000 or email seasontickets@Yankees.com. In 2010, come home to Yankee Stadium, the home of champions.
Leadership isn't given, it's earned. Now Ford quality is unsurpassed by Honda and Toyota. And more people are realizing why Ford Edge is raising the bar. Now, during our leadership sales drive, you can get 0% financing plus $2,000 cash back. That's both 0% and $2,000 cash. Plus, drive past gas stations faster with 265 horsepower and 25 miles per gallon. Or you can lease for only $259 a month. Ford Edge, unbelievable quality, incredible deal at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Hey, this says Verizon Fios customers are switching back to cable.
Yeah, that's what it says.
But that's not true. No. You know, you wouldn't have to do stuff like this if you had better customer satisfaction ratings.
Dude, if we had better ratings, we wouldn't need to do stuff like this.
That's my point.
That is my point.
It's the same point.
Get out of my brain.
With 4 times more very satisfied customers than Cablevision, it's no wonder over 98% of Verizon Fios customers stick with Fios. This is beyond cable. This is Fios.
You know, everybody has a tendency to talk about the fastball when a pitcher's coming back from Tommy John surgery. But one of the indicators that you're starting to recover is your breaking ball becomes much sharper and much quicker. You know, Mitre has thrown some great breaking balls tonight. This one strikes out Edward Encarnacion, but this is a nasty hook, and it's more of an indication that his arm is getting stronger.
Here's John Weber. What a great story. Well, it's kind of a sad story. He spent 11 years in the minor leagues, and he's hit in every single level. He has never had even a cup of coffee in the big leagues, and he's hung in there, signed with the Yankees as a minor league free agent because he knew they'd give him a chance. But his one problem, Kenny, is he bats from the left side, and the Yankees in that spot, they need a right-handed batter coming up the bench, and that's why Marcus Thames has an advantage, although Weber's hitting .560.
Well, Michael, I've said it time and time again, there's a lot of scouts in the stands, and there might be another club that needs a left-handed hitter. There must be one in the major leagues that has seen Weber this spring. Scouts are supposed to be all over canvassing all these spring training games. What'd you say he was hitting? 563?
560. Wow. He was with the Tampa Bay Rays in spring training last year, had a great spring, was the last cut, ended up in the minor leagues and did a good job at AAA, then became a minor league free agent. And Joe Girardi actually called Don Zimmer, who's an advisor with the Rays, and said, what about this kid? You'll love him, He'll fit right in. He's the perfect guy for you. He's the perfect guy for the Yankees. He works hard and keeps his nose clean. And you know what? He's done just that. And look, here we are in the last Tuesday in spring training, and he's still here. But it's a numbers game, and the fact that he's a lefty hitter is really playing against him.
11 years in the minors, a .285 career hitter in the minor leagues.
That's a long stay in the minors.
Oh, I couldn't have done that, I don't think. In fact, I'm pretty sure I couldn't have. It's a lot of bus rides.
Swing and a miss. So Zipchinski, the lefty, gets Weber swinging for the first out.
Well, we told you Zipchinski does have a good breaking ball. The target's down and away from Chavez, and this one just looks like a strike, and all of a sudden it is not. Weber commits. Those are the kind you're hoping just to foul off so you get another pitch.
Here is Francisco Cervelli. Kenny mentioned earlier he was hit yesterday by Guthrie on the forearm. And Joe Girardi got very angry and started screaming. He wasn't screaming at anybody. He wasn't screaming at Dave Tremblay, but he doesn't want to get his players hurt. He said now is not the time for pitchers to be working on things.
Well, particularly in a game, it looked like he was trying to force his fastballs
Right.
in there. And if you realize you can't do it, I mean, it's spring training. Go out to the other portion of the plate.
Hustling Cervelli just gets gunned down by Alex Gonzalez. Cervelli really flying down the line. Just got nabbed by the throw. Let's take a look at what happened last night.
Well, once again, it's Guthrie. He had already hit Mark Teixeira. And this one looked like off the forearm. Off the forearm, but Cervelli, man, he's had a rough spring. And he had to be taken to the hospital, hit in the head earlier this spring, had a concussion. Tough kid.
Here's Greg Golson. Greg has already been sent down to the minor league camp, but because there's a split squad today, the Yankees just called across the street and said send Golson over because that's where the Yankee minor leaguers train. They like Golson. He's fast, gives him an infusion of energy.
I mentioned earlier this spring, he'd been a #1 draft pick of the Philadelphia Phillies a few years back. He hasn't really developed a power stroke. So, you know, speed doesn't take a vacation, but just the power hasn't caught up. So with Golson in center field, I would tell you that both Brett Gardner and Curtis Granderson made the trip to Orlando.
That one's chopped to second. Hill is right there, and they get the hustling Golson for the final out of a 1-2-3. So a good inning for Mark Zipchinski. 1-0 Yankees. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network.
Mark, we have teams on both coasts that are interested, but Milos only wants to play for Dallas.
Milos really wants to play for Brussels. Milos only wants to play for Shanghai. Buenos Aires. Frankfurt.
Milos really wants to play for Rome.
How's your Japanese?
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines. Fly American to Beijing, nonstop from Chicago.
So now you can get a great deal on any Volkswagen.
Green one.
Oh, like our award-winning CC.
White one.
Or the fuel-efficient Jetta.
Ooh, red one.
Or the Tiguan.
Black one. Oh, 2 for flinching.
Plus, every Volkswagen includes no-charge scheduled carefree maintenance.
Silver one.
Oh.
On any Volkswagen?
Yeah. With great deals on all 13 models,
White one.
It's a whole new Volkswagen and a whole new game.
As long as we're winding up our doing dials, let's wind them with precision. Open our throttle to even more selection and turn that savings swagger up full tilt. So when the time comes to bust open a can of doing, we've got all the tools for all the things we need to make them happen. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, get Scott's Naturescapes mulch for the new lower price of just $3.88.
With today's active lifestyles, it's hard to be home for every inning. Now you can catch live Yes Network Yankees games on your laptop for less than your morning cup of coffee. For just $69.95, you'll get a full season of live Yankees games wherever your busy day may take you. If you're a Time Warner Cable customer who watches Yes, go to YesNetwork.com for more details and sign up today.
Tonight after the game, you get a season preview with Yankees 2010 Pride, Power, and Pinstripes. Hear the latest plans from manager Joe Girardi, plus exclusive interviews, including new Yankee Curtis Granderson and an app from the Yes Network team. Yankees 2010, tonight after the game, only on Yes. We go to the third. Here's Travis Snyder. I think we did a good job with the round table because we actually had enough Red Bull to keep Al Leiter awake in the morning. It was outstanding TV.
You mix it with coffee, it can be a volatile mix. That was a good shot. I thought it was well done. Bob Lorenz was the moderator.
Count 0-2. Interviews with Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, and Curtis Granderson. So it's worth watching. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Boy, this Mitre looks sharp. Gets Snyder on the off speed.
He's shown a good breaking ball, pretty good fastball tonight, and this is the changeup. Well out in front, and that's Travis Snyder, not Duke Snyder. Swing and a miss.
So far, Mitre has been perfect through 2 1/3. Here's Alex Gonzalez. And a strike.
Well, there's a lot of movement on that fastball. Alex Gonzalez last year played for the Red Sox, came over as a free agent. Interesting that Marco Scudero, who played for the Blue Jays, went to Boston as a free agent. They just swapped shortstops.
Alex Gonzalez was actually asked by the Red Sox, we'd like you to wait until we get the Jason Bay situation resolved. And Alex Gonzalez said, I'm not going to wait. There might not be a job. So the Blue Jays offered him the job, and he took it. And then the Jason Bay situation never got resolved in Boston.
He'd still be waiting.
He'd still be waiting. Now, one of the bigger stories in camp, and we detailed this in the open, was the battle for the number 5 spot in the Yankee rotation. And when they had to make the decision last week, there were spirited discussions. It was not an easy call. There were factions of the front office and the coaching staff that wanted to save us. There were definitely supporters of Sergio Mitre, and there were supporters of Phil Hughes, and Phil Hughes ended up winning the job. And Jabba Chamberlain has been moved to the bullpen.
Well, when you have organizational meetings, you're going to have differences of opinion. And that's not only about the 5th starter spot. That could be on your last player on your roster. You know, different people see different things and different ways to help the team. Well, there was also thought that the Yankees might be better by having both Hughes and Chamberlain in the bullpen.
3-2. Grounded to third. There's Chu Wei. You know, I talked to Brian Cashman, the Yankee GM, at length about it yesterday, and he had some very interesting and telling points. I said, well, wasn't there a little bit of a desire to see Jabba Chamberlain start this year without training wheels, without any restrictions, and see what you have and see if he actually could be a starter? And Brian very succinctly said, we got the information we needed over the last 2 years. He said he had a chance to win that job, and, you know, he didn't pitch poorly, but we felt that Phil Hughes pitched better, so Phil Hughes is going to be in the rotation. And he also said that Job has been told there's no guarantee that you're in the bullpen. He said, now, in all likelihood, he said, I can't imagine a scenario where he wouldn't be. He said, but he's got to pitch well this week, and there's also no guarantee that he's going to be the 8th inning guy. He said there are other people that might be the 8th inning guy. Could be Aceves, could be David Robertson. So nothing is given.
I think that's the right way to go, because I think you have to have somewhat of a carrot out there to keep people moving in the right direction, keep the pressure on. I mean, competition's a good thing.
It's funny because that's what Cashman said. He said, we want competition here. We don't want anybody to ever be comfortable. We want them to know they've got to work hard and they've got to produce all the time, because this is the Yankees and we have to win a championship every year. And you're not going to sit and stand for complacency and think, well, I got a job.
Speaking of that, 3 catchers, or make that 2 catchers in the running for the backup job with the Blue Jays. Chavez and former Yankee Jose Molina, the backup John Buck. The Blue Jays got some questions to answer in the rotation. Maybe the last man on the roster, backup catcher. Well, this is a time during spring training, a lot of players on pins and needles.
Count 3 and 2.
The difference could be, you know, thousands of dollars on payday.
Or the end of a career.
Yeah, that's true too.
And the 3-2. Lofted to right center, giving chase is Golson. He's there and he'll make the play as Mitre is perfect through 3. 9 up and 9 down. 1-2-0 for the Yanks. Zeros across for the Blue Jays. You're watching Yankees baseball on Yes.
The 2009 New York Yankees are world champions.
Come out to Yankee Stadium in 2010 to see the 27-time world champion New York Yankees in action on Thursday, April 15th, when the Yankees take on the Angels. Don't miss a very special cap night at Yankee Stadium. All fans in attendance will receive a 27-time world champions Yankees hat, courtesy of H&R Block. In 2010, come home to Yankee Stadium, the home of champions.
Honda Accord and Toyota Camry stand behind their powertrain for up to 60,000 miles. Chevy Malibu stands behind theirs for up to 100,000 miles, which makes it pretty clear who's standing out front. A Consumer's Digest Best Buy 2 years running. Chevy Malibu. Compare it to anyone, and may the best car win.
Qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on this 2010 Malibu LS for around $199 a month. Call for details. Call 877-64-CHEVY.
It's time for
Welcome back. These 3 television providers claim to have the most HD channels. Judges, who will you believe?
Pass.
We have the most HD channels, if you count our part-time HD channels. We have over 130 channels, all HD, all the time. All the time. All the time.
Judges?
If this were to tell a lie, I'd be crushing you.
Now that you've got the truth, get DirecTV. Stay tuned.
1-0 Yankees lead the Blue Jays. Sergio Mitre has retired all 9 Blue Jays. Leading off for the Yankees is Derek Jeter. Now, one of the things that was unusual about last year, 15 walk-off wins for the Yankees. That means 15 pies. Derek Jeter never got hit with a pie. I always wondered, would he have allowed himself to be hit? It just doesn't seem like it's Derek Jeter. I look at Jeter as almost the DiMaggio of this Yankee team. Well, in our special Pride, Power, and Pinstripes, he was asked about not being hit with a pie last year.
Well, I was the only smart one last year not to get it. But I have no problem with it because, you know, if you're getting pies in the face, then you just won a game. So, you know, if the opportunity presents itself, then maybe this year, hopefully, it'll be a little different.
Well, we'll see.
I don't think he should have any problem with it because you see him on TV all the time with that shaving cream on his face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Although the pie actually is whipped cream, I think.
We're in the same family.
It's one you could eat. I did not know that the past tense of pie is P-I-E-D, as they said on the graphic. Pied. You learn so much watching Yes. Inside out swing and past the diving Hill. A base hit for Jeter.
You know what? I didn't know that either.
No. 15 pies, and Kim Jones witnessed most of them. Boy, she got hit with some shrapnel. One after another. Yep. Kim was the collateral damage.
Yeah.
It's to Nick Johnson as a strike.
I think all winter she's been working on an escape plan.
These are the walk-off wins from last year. 15 of them and 2 in the postseason. I think Nick enjoyed the pie the most, and there's a picture of Nick exulting after being pied.
You sure that's him?
That's Nick. It looks like jolly old St. Nick.
Yeah.
Didn't Melky have 3 in a row? Oh, no, the Yankees had 3 in a row against the Twins.
Against the Twins.
Yeah.
I think it was Johnny Damon had a walk-off homer. Melky had a base hit. Did A-Rod have a homer?
No, A-Rod, if you remember, I thought that, well, he did have a walk-off home run, but he also had a pie, which I thought was not earned at all. The one that Luis Castillo dropped the pop-up against the Mets. He got a pie for that.
You should give it to Louis. Met fans wanted to give it to him.
Oh, they did.
He got a pie for that.
That was a walk-off win.
Kind of a drop-off.
Jeter stole in the first inning, and he had 30 stolen bases last year. Very quietly picked his spots, and they all came in big moments.
He's only caught 5 times.
You know, we're talking about the Mets, and I know that the Mets are trying to get Jose Reyes to not steal as many bases because he wears down in September. They said, look at a guy like Jeter who picks his spots and steals his bases when they really need him. He said, you know, they're trying to tell him, you don't need 85 stolen bases. Maybe if you get 55 and they're all really important and you have better legs in September. That could be 2. There's 1. Over to first, scooped out of the dirt, a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Nick Johnson.
Nice play on the backhand by Gonzalez. Accurate throw to Hill, about chest high, and then nice scoop by Overbay on the back end of the double play. We just have a pretty solid infield at short, second, and first. And Encarnacion is working on his reputation as a third baseman. He hasn't gotten there yet.
Marcus Timms takes low. Grounded to third. That's going to help the reputation. Fires to first. A nice play by Edwin Encarnacion, taking an extra base hit away from Marcus Timms. For the Yankees, no runs a hit, no errors because of the double play, nobody left. Encarnacion with the backhand. Gets up, fires. Overbay with the stretch, and Timms is gone.
The energy drink for your feet. With ZigTech, I get more train, less pain.
You value your friends. So does DirecTV. Bob's worth 100. So are Carrie, Ann, and Sue. For every friend you refer to DirecTV, you get $100, and they get $100 on top of our new customer offer. Just give your account number to your friends and have them call 1-877-4-100 each. They must have your account number when they order. This offer's only good for a limited time, so hurry. Then celebrate and watch the Benjamins stack up.
We realized a long time ago that what you make people feel is just as important as what you make. And at BMW, we don't just make cars, we make joy.
For 500 years, Koreans have been practicing a unique heat therapy. This historical therapy was revealed by the 12 different types of saunas to release your daily fatigues and to restore yourself. Refresh your body and mind with the heat of a 500-year-old tradition. King Spa and Fitness.
Full season and partial season tickets are now on sale, including field level seats between the bases and other premium seat locations. For more information or to purchase, visit Yankees.com, or you can call 718-293-6000, or you can email seasontickets@Yankees.com. Perfect through 3 is Sergio Mitre. Back to the top of the order at Jose Bautista. Good breaking ball for a strike. On the Audi scoreboard, 1-3-0 Yanks and zeros across for the Blue Jays. Bautista in the first inning, a fly ball to right.
Now, with the absence of Marco Scutaro, who did a pretty good job in the leadoff spot for Cito Gaston last year, he was looking for a leadoff hitter, and he plugged in Bautista. Now, Bautista hasn't had the reputation as a leadoff hitter during his career. He's been more further down in the lineup, although last year he led off about 25 games and hit 11 home runs. Mitre's got good stuff tonight. Good breaking ball.
And the 1-2. 2-2.
Missed with a changeup. You know, before the game, I was walking out of the clubhouse, and the last Yankee I saw before I came up to the booth was Sergio Mitre, and I wished him good luck in tonight's game. And one thing I noticed about him, he's a lot bigger when you get up close to him than he actually looks on the field compared to the other players.
Ground ball up the middle and a base hit. So the first base runner for the Blue Jays.
Now, I'm 6'4", and I felt like I was looking up at him. Maybe he had his spikes on. Here's a base hit that will break the string at 9 consecutive Blue Jays retired by Sergio Mitre. It was a ground ball that didn't find a fielder. You know, he can't feel bad. It's a base hit, but yet it's another ground ball. When he's on, there's a lot of grounders. That was pretty well hit by Bautista to break the string at 9. But he'll take that same ground ball right at Jeter or Pena right now.
Here's Aaron Hill. Count 1-0. Hill lined out to Ramiro Pena. That was in the first inning.
Look at that on-base percentage this spring.
Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. Nice pickup there by Pena, but a stolen base for Bautista.
Yeah, Bautista got a good jump, and Mitre, if he had held the ball a little longer and then thrown the first, he would have had him. He was leaning, got the good jump, and picks up the stolen base. And it was very hard for Cervelli to make up the time, and a good stop by Pena just to keep the ball from going into center field.
The 2-0. Driven deep to left field. Timms goes back, still back, and that ball is gone. Just over the wall, a 2-run home run for Aaron Hill, and Toronto leads 2-1.
Well, we told you that Hill is having a very good spring. That is his 3rd home run of spring training. You have a second baseman that hits in the mid-30s in homers. He had 36 last year, and that pitch was right there. A 2-0 pitch, inner third. This is what he lives for. Right there, get ahead on the count, look for a pitch that he can drive. He got it, and the Blue Jays have the lead.
No styling on that one. He didn't know if it was going to clear the wall, so he was hustling down to first. Here's Adam. Now on his line down the right field line. It's going to be a base hit. Wynn will play it in the corner, and Lynn kind of coast into second with a double. Still nobody out.
Looked like he got a changeup and just stayed back long enough and hit the ball into the corner for a 2-base hit. This is the second time through the order for Mitre. Maybe these Blue Jays, yep, that was a changeup, but it wasn't well located. It was up and on the inner third of the plate. You could see he's just out in front of it, but the pitch wasn't a very good one. If it's down and away, that would have been a swing and a miss, but that was in and up. And Lynn was able to get the decent part of the bat on it for a 2-base hit.
Here's Vernon Wells. Fly ball, center field. Golson will make the play for the first out.
That was kind of a hanging breaking ball, but Wells did not have a good swing at it. Take a look at this, and this one is kind of right there. It kind of hangs for him. But, you know, he knows he should have hit it better than that. You can see the way he threw the bat away. So Mitre has not made as good a pitch as this inning as he has in the previous 3.
Pitch outside to Overbay. Strike, nips the outside corner with the changeup.
You can get your changeup over when you're behind in the count. You can get yourself back into counts as a pitcher. Hitters are all geared up for the hard stuff when they're ahead on the counts.
It is amazing how fragile pitching is. 3 innings, he looks like a world beater, and then something goes awry. Maybe his delivery, maybe his release point, and he looks like a completely different pitcher here in the 4th.
Yeah, certainly location has been off this inning. And you're right, it could be a mitigating factors, whether it's the his delivery's off a little bit, maybe his arm slot has dropped down, pitches are starting to flatten out a little bit. Maybe not picking up the target as quickly as he was before. Remember, all the other he was pitching from the windup exclusively for the first 3 innings. Now, with the base hit by Bautista, he's had to work out of the stretch. And sometimes, even when you're going well, you should take some of your warm-up pitches from the stretch.
Line drive, caught there by Pena. This should be a double play. It is. Bad base running there by Adam Lind as he gets doubled up. So the ball was hit hard, but Pena turned it into a 4-6 double play. But the Blue Jays take the lead. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and nobody left because of this double play started by Ramiro Pena. Jeter steps on the bag. That'll do it. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Blue Jays up by 1.
I thought if you had an older home, there was no way you could reduce your energy costs.
Boy, was I wrong.
We had our house performance tested by a contractor certified by the Building Performance Institute.
We found a host of problems that could be corrected.
They showed us what it would cost
And how much we'd save this year.
and for years to come. We've reduced our energy use 45 to 50%.
And it's good for the environment.
How can you beat that?
For more true stories of how New Yorkers are saving energy, log on to getenergysmart.org.
Hey, this says Verizon Fios customers are switching back to cable.
That's what it says.
But that's not true. You know, you wouldn't have to do stuff like this if you had better customer satisfaction ratings.
Dude, if we had better ratings, we wouldn't need to do stuff like this.
That's my point.
That is my point.
It's the same point.
Get out of my brain.
With 4 times more very satisfied customers than Cablevision, it's no wonder over 98% of Verizon Fios customers stick with Fios. This is beyond cable. This is Fios.
In every friendly little competition, right behind you, there's a winner and a loser. A runner-up, second best, the one who fell a bit short.
Thank you.
Our friends at BMW know exactly how this feels. Experience our winning lineup at your local Audi dealer today.
I'm Michael Kay, the host of Center Stage. Center Stage is a journey through people's lives trying to find out how they got to the point of their success. You're going to really get to see the person who's interviewed the real story. Watch Center Stage only on Yes. Bottom of the fourth inning, Alex Rodriguez gets moved out of the way by Zipchinski on the Audi scoreboard. The Blue Jays lead 2-1 on the strength of Aaron Hill's 2-run home run. And the 2-0. Missed outside, 3-0. Alex with a single center in the first inning. Taking all the way, takes a strike.
Once again, Alex up there with a good count for hitting 3-1. Let's see what Zepchinski goes with. If he remembers the first time, Alex was 2-0 and lined a single to left. Sometimes you get to these counts, you don't get the ball back when Alex Rodriguez is at the plate.
Threw a breaking ball on 3-1. And Rodriguez with a leadoff walk.
I think he had the same thought I did. 3-1 fastball might not get it back, so he went with a breaking ball.
There are some pitchers that would think the other way. I'd rather give up the home run than walk somebody, especially in spring training.
And then trick him later on in the season.
Here's Randy Wynn. And a strike.
Let's look at Randy Wynn's numbers the last few years with San Francisco. Now, last year he had sort of an off year, but he still stole 16 bases in 18 attempts. His last 3 years with the Giants, well, Randy Wynn's got that speed he had when he was young. 56 stolen bases, he's only been caught 3 times. I mean, make that 7 times, which is still a good ratio.
You know that Randy Wynn has a previous connection to a big-time Yankee. Randy Wynn was actually traded for Lou Piniella.
That's when Lou was managing.
Yeah, as a manager.
Yeah.
The Rays sent Randy Wynn to Seattle for Lou Piniella. And there's the deal. And the Devil Rays at that time also acquired Antonio Perez. So getting Lou wasn't enough for Wynn. They also had to get Antonio Perez. And Randy Wynn also holds the dubious distinction, and one of the reasons he signed with the Yankees, playing the most games in the major leagues without ever having appeared in the postseason.
Well, you can see Wynn's value was actually a little higher than you thought.
Alex Rodriguez going with the ball fouled off by Wynn.
Because Wynn had been the Rays MVP. I think that the Devil Rays MVP that year. You know what? If you're Randy Wynn, and he's enough of a veteran player, that was a changeup. Alex Rodriguez had second base stolen. If he had taken that pitch, he'd have a runner at second. Maybe it would have been a strike, but still there's a runner in scoring position. So the Yankees are getting a pretty good read on Mr. Zepchinski's move. Jeter with a steal early in the game that turned into a run. Mayrod with a semi-steal, but he had to return on the foul ball.
Foul back to the screen. On Sunday, Yankees against the Red Sox right here on Yes. Our coverage starts at 7 o'clock. We know the pitching matchup. CC Sabathia against Josh Beckett. Sabathia pitched against Atlanta today. Didn't pitch that great, but he will be on the mound at Fenway Park Sunday night. Line drive, base hit. Moving to second is Alex Rodriguez. The ball bobbled by Snyder, but Rodriguez stays put.
I was able to watch some of Beckett last night against Minnesota. He looked pretty good. He had his pitches working. As we see this line drive off the bat of Randy Wynn. This is a changeup. Yep, looks like he's a little out in front, but just enough. Kept the hands back and got himself a base hit. The Yankees, the tying run at second and the go-ahead run at first. As Michael told you, there's nobody out.
Now, speaking of Beckett, Kenny, word out of Boston is that he and the Red Sox are very close to a 4-year deal. He has a year left on his contract, but the deal supposedly will pay him about $16.5 million a year, which is the same thing that they gave John Lackey. Pitch is low as the Rays, should I say the Jays, are in at the corner for Pena, expecting a bunt.
So two young men from Texas bringing home Texas-sized paychecks.
One thing the Red Sox held firm with in their negotiation with Beckett, they would not give him a 5th year. They said that that was a non-starter, that they were willing to talk about the money in different ways, but it had to be a 4-year limit because he's 31 years old. The 1-0. 2-0. Driven out to center field deep. Wells was playing shallow. He's back, still back, still back. It's over his head. Drives the ball on the warning track. Scoring is Rodriguez. Wynn right behind him, out to stay right there. Alex scores. Game is tied at 2 on the RBI double by Pena.
Well, you might wonder why Randy Wynn was right on the tail of Alex Rodriguez, because when this ball is hit, Alex is going to go back to second and tag up. He knows that that's what he's supposed to do, move over to third in case Wells makes the catch. But as Michael called it, Wells is playing very shallow. Too shallow for Pena. He runs one over his head. And that's going to tie the game, and the Yankees are in business here, second and third. And here comes Alex, and here comes Randy Wynn, who's going to slam on the brakes, stopped by Robbie Thompson. With nobody out, Yankees with runners at second and third.
They play the infield back. Ground ball will score a run. Here's John Weber. And there's the ground ball. And here comes the run. So Weber is out. Scoring is Wynn. Pena moves to third, and the Yankees take a 3-2 lead. Now, if you want a ground ball, that's the one you want.
Yep, drives in one run and moves the other runner over to third with one out. You know, it's interesting, that play the other day, Michael, that we had on the bases, which I think was totally fouled up by the umpire, calling the runner out, calling the ball caught, which wasn't caught. And I thought the end of the play was interesting too, because I thought Cano shouldn't have been penalized. Should have been a double. And Eduardo Nunez should have been given third base. Instead, the runners ended up at first and second. That's where the umpires placed them.
Infield in for Cervelli. He swings and misses. And here is that play that Kenny's talking about.
This was on Sunday. This is the game that eventually was rained out. Cano hits a ball to the gap. Wasn't caught by Austin Jackson. Umpire thought it was. You see the right hand in the air. Nunez starts back to first. Now, the interesting thing about this play, they eventually put Nunez in second and Cano at first. Joe Girardi, because of the rain, wanted Andy Pettitte to pitch. He told me he wanted both his runners called out for passing each other so he could get Andy Pettitte, which is the most important thing, back on the mound to pitch. Well, it didn't happen that way, and eventually the game got rained out because the Tigers couldn't bat in the top of the 5th inning with the Yankees leading 8-0, I think it was.
Because if a base runner passes another one, they're automatically out.
You're out, but the umpire is feeling, because the umpire made the wrong call, that they were going to fix everything, but Cano was penalized. He had a double. It should have been second and third. Instead, the umpires put him at first and second. Joe didn't argue. He said, you know, he wanted them both called out for passing each other, and then he'd get Andy Pettitte back on the mound, which he thought at the time was more important. If this was a regular season, though, one of the managers, either Joe or Jimmy Leyland, would have been thrown out of the game.
Cervelli strikes out, off-speed pitch. Andy Pettitte ended up getting most of his work done underneath the stands, throwing in the indoor mound. And then he got 1 inning, I believe, before he had to go throw underneath. He has not pitched much in games.
He did look pretty good, though, during his inning.
And we also found out why they didn't start the game with Andy Pettitte. We found out afterward, because they thought it was going to rain in the first inning, and they didn't want to start him and stop him. So they figured that there would be a big rainstorm come after the first inning, then they would resume play. But it didn't work out like that. They got 4 innings in, then the big rainstorm came. So they gambled and they lost with Andy, although he did get the work in, just not against live batters. Strike to Golson. Count 0-2. Runner at third base with 2 outs, 2 runs already in. Yankees leading 3-2. Strike 3, Golson down looking. So a nice rebound by Zipchinski. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 4 in Tampa. Yankees lead Toronto 3-2 on Yes.
It's time for
Welcome back. These 3 television providers claim to have the most HD channels. Judges, who will you believe?
Pass.
We have the most HD channels. If you count our part-time HD channels. We have over 130 channels, all HD, all the time. All the time. All the time.
Judges?
If this were to tell a lie, I'd be crushing you.
Now that you've got the truth, get DirecTV. Stay tuned.
Years ago, the world was faced with a challenge. And Lexus responded by building the world's first luxury hybrid. Today, Lexus has 4 hybrid models on the road, including the HS, the most fuel-efficient of all luxury vehicles. Lease the 2010 HS 250H for $369 a month for 36 months, with $19.99 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
As long as we're winding up our doing dials, let's wind them with precision. Open our throttle to even more selection and turn that savings swagger up full tilt. So when the time comes to bust open a can of doing, we've got all the tools for all the things we need to make them happen. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, get Scott's Naturescapes mulch for the new lower price of just $3.88.
You know, as long as he's not a switch.
Starting Saturday, the skipper is back for another season of WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. Every week, go inside the mind of the managers. He breaks down the team's performance and looks ahead to the upcoming series. It's the season premiere of the Joe Girardi Show, Saturday at 4, only on Yes. There's the manager of the Yankees, Joe Girardi. Hey, Joe.
Michael, how are you?
Good. What's going on? How's life?
Well, life is good. We've seen a lot of baseball in the last 25 hours in 15 minutes, but things are good, and Tex is better today, and we expect him probably, you know, we're hoping for Thursday, and Ace was better today, so that's good news.
On the Avis scoreboard, Yankees lead this one 3-2, top of the 5th inning. Joe, let's talk about Mitra. He looked perfect. He was perfect through 3. What happened in the 4th inning?
He got some balls up, and he got a 2-0 count, and that's always dangerous. And I mean, this is a club that's given him a lot of trouble last year, but he's thrown the ball really well tonight. And you know, you get 2-0 counts, you're gonna, you know, and you got to throw a fastball. Sometimes, you know, Aaron Hill's going to hit you hard, and he did.
You're right about that, Joe. 3 starts against the Blue Jays last year, no decision, and 2 losses.
Yeah.
Now, you had a game earlier at Disney World, the Yankees against the Braves. And you started with CC Sabathia, his final tune-up before Sunday night. How did CC look?
I thought he looked a lot better today. I know he gave up a 2-run homer, but, you know, he got a changeup up. But I thought he looked better today, and, you know, went 5 innings for us, almost 75 pitches, and it was a good tune-up, and I think he's ready to go.
Encarnacion grounds to A-Rod. There's one away. Also, I know you were very curious to watch an ambidextrous pitcher in the Yankee system, Pat Venditti, throws with the right or the left hand. How did he look?
He looked good. It was really interesting to watch because he's got a glove that basically has two thumbs, and he just, depending on if there's a left-handed hitter up, you know, he switches it over. And he did a nice job today, and he threw strikes. And left-handed, he drops down a little bit. Right-handed, he's more over the top. But it's really neat to see. He had a great year in Charleston last year, and I was really curious.
Now, Joe, is he just a curiosity, or do you think that he could translate into being a big league pitcher one year?
Well, I mean, he's a guy that had a lot of success last year, and he's young, and he's going to have a chance to probably move up this year and pitch at a higher level. And you know, you just continue to watch him. He closed games in Charleston last year and did a real nice job. I mean, it's an interesting thing to have as a manager because, you know, if they're left, right, or right, left, right, you don't worry about it.
That was my question. Was he a starter or a reliever? Because if you think about it, he can start 2 days in a row.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you know, relievers, you give them a lot of times 25 pitches an inning in spring training. Well, I mean, here's a guy that give you 50. I mean, if they're going left, right, left, right. And I got on him a little bit because he had his name on both thumbs. And I was teasing him. I said, well, do you forget when you change your glove from your right to your left? And he said, no. I've asked him to only put the name on one thumb, but they keep sending it on both.
Now, curiosity factor, Joe, who has to commit if he faces a switch hitter?
The pitcher has to commit first. I think it happened in Staten Island a couple years ago where the hitter kept going back to the dugout. He kept switching sides, and they finally came up with a rule that the pitcher has to commit first. But the thing is, if you're in a National League game, if you're pinch hitting, he doesn't have to commit until the guy's announced. So that's definitely an advantage.
2-2 outside. Now, yesterday, and you mentioned at the beginning, Teixeira's okay. I spoke with him today. Obviously, you have the top information on him. Cervelli was also hit. And after Cervelli got hit, I read in the newspaper that you kind of let out an angry yell. Who were you ticked off at, Joe?
Well, I was mad at the situation. And I know Jerry McGuthrie's not trying to hit anyone, but I mean, sometimes you just want to vent a little anger, and I just started kind of yelling at the cooler. and you know the cooler's not going to respond. And, you know, you can do whatever you want, knock it over, you can knock it over. But, I mean, the last thing you want is guys to be hit at this time of the year and not get their final advance on and possibly be stiff going into opening day. But yeah, it happens, but as a manager, you get frustrated, and players get frustrated.
Joe, you get the sense that the club's ready to go. I mean, it's the last week of spring training, and it seems to me that this sort of thing gets a little old.
Yeah, it does. Guys are anxious to get going. And the interesting thing is when you walk in the clubhouse, it seems so empty. And you do the stretch, and there's only, you know, 28, 29 guys here. It seems so empty because we started with 67. And it's just kind of a weird feeling when you walk into this clubhouse with 65 lockers and none of them are filled. So I believe guys are anxious to get going. I think guys want to fine-tune a little bit and make sure they feel comfortable. We have guys going back to back days, some day games after night games, because you're going to face that during the season. So guys are getting really anxious.
0-1 count on Alex Gonzalez, who had grounded out the third in the third. Yankees are leading 3-2. Sergio Mitre on the mound, his fifth inning of work, and the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Now, one guy that we were talking about before, Joe, John Weber's had a great spring. But unfortunately, the way I read it, he's batting from the wrong side. He has stuck, though. You said there's 29 guys in there. He still hasn't been cut.
No, he still has not been cut. He's had a tremendous spring. Great personality in the clubhouse. Understands what his job is. And just a really nice kid. And it's a great story, his perseverance.
Joe, we will talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
All right, 4.5 innings in the books as the Blue Jays go down in order. We're halfway through. Yankees 3, Blue Jays 2.
Hey, dude, please don't even talk to me until I have my coffee. Okay.
Oh, hey, Tim.
Sorry, I haven't had my coffee yet. No.
Morning. Welcome to McDonald's. Can I interest you in a
Not before I have my coffee.
premium roast coffee for just $1?
Talk to me.
Introducing McDonald's new $1 menu at breakfast. Try a cup of freshly brewed premium roast coffee for just $1 each every day, and you'll see why nobody makes breakfast like McDonald's.
I like your scarf. It's beautiful out, huh?
Hey, this says Verizon Fios customers are switching back to cable.
Yeah, that's what it says.
But that's not true. You know, you wouldn't have to do stuff like this if you had better customer satisfaction ratings.
Dude, if we had better ratings, we wouldn't need to do stuff like this.
That's my point.
That is my point.
It's the same point.
Get out of my brain.
With 4 times more very satisfied customers than Cablevision, it's no wonder over 98% of Verizon Fios customers stick with Fios. This is beyond cable. This is Fios.
So now you can get a great deal on any Volkswagen.
Green one.
Oh, like our award-winning CC.
White one.
Or the fuel-efficient Jetta.
Ooh, red one.
Or the Tiguan.
Black one. Oh, 2 for flinching.
Plus, every Volkswagen includes no-charge scheduled carefree maintenance.
Silver one.
Oh.
On any Volkswagen?
Yeah. With great deals on all 13 models,
Silver one.
It's a whole new Volkswagen and a whole new game.
The Sunday Daily News is celebrating modern Yankee heroes with great commemorative magazines. Each Sunday, get a big, full-color magazine of a Yankee hero, packed with extraordinary action shots, career highlights, and stats, plus a player poster. This Sunday, get Burn, Baby Burn, Bernie Williams. Yours free only in the Sunday Daily News.
Tonight's game on Yes is brought to you in part by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Here's Jeter. And that one is wrapped into center field. Giving chase. Vernon Wells, he dives. He can't make the play, and the ball rolls to the wall. Derek Jeter's at second. He's going for 3. He will make it standing up. So a leadoff triple here in the 5th inning by Derek Jeter.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Hitters are starting to look ready. When pitchers make mistakes, the ball gets hit hard. Breaking ball, middle of the plate. Vernon Wells actually thought he had a chance to make the catch on this, and he came a lot closer than I thought he was. But once he leaves his feet, this is a 3-base hit because you don't have time to recover, get to the wall, get it back in quickly. Right here, Vernon Wells is off his feet, and Jeter's picking up and laying him down. He's on the way to third, and he coasts in with a leadoff triple.
Blue Jays kind of halfway in the infield for Nick Johnson at the plate. The first pitch is a strike. On the Avis scoreboard, it's 3-6-0. Leading 2-3-0 for the Blue Jays. The Yankees looking to pad that lead with Jeter at third.
First triple of the spring for the Yankee captain.
Breaking ball, swung on and missed in the count 0-2.
It's like the Blue Jays have the infield about halfway. Now, as a runner at third base, Derek Jeter's going to have to read a ground ball to the infield. But with nobody out, he's going to have to be sure.
There's a ground ball to second off the glove of Hill, and that'll go into center field as Jeter will score. Nick Johnson's hustling. He's going for 2. He's going to be thrown out. Trying to get the Blue Jays sleeping, but they were not sleeping, and they threw him out easily. But Jeter does score as the Yankees go up 4-2.
Well, Nick Johnson should get an RBI on this, and be interested to see how they scored. On the backhand is Hill. I believe that's going to be an error. He should have come up with that. But Jeter scores. There's the hustling Nick Johnson, thrown out by Vernon Wells.
Marcus Timms fouls one away.
Here's Nick. I remember Mick the Quick, but that's not him. It's not Nick the Quick.
There's no RBI on the play for some reason. That one is laced into right center field. Giving chase, Vernon Wells getting a lot of running in, and that one is going to bounce up against the wall. Marcus Timms at second. He'll stop right there with a double.
Johnson did. I believe Johnson did not get an RBI because Jeter didn't break initially. There's the pitch, hanging breaking ball, and all of a sudden Zipchinski is not making good pitches this inning, and he's paying the price. By the way, Nick reached on an error and then was thrown out by Vernon Wells.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, his third time at the plate. He is 1 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. And the pitch inside. 1-0. Rip foul. Woof.
Alex has looked very good swinging the bat, I'd say, the last week to 10 days. Quick through the zone, maybe a little too quick this time. Hitting line drive after line drive. Great balance on the swing. Great extension. You know, that ball was hit hard. Let's see what Zepchinski goes with here. That might have scared him off a fastball. Yep, came back with a breaking ball.
One, two. Grounded sharply up the middle for a base hit past the diving Gonzalez. Timms was going back to second. Now he'll just advance to third. So Alex Rodriguez with his second base hit of the night.
You know, one thing about Marcus there, when you're at second base, not only you check the outfielders, you check the infielders. And you can see that Gonzalez is pulled way to the right, and the ball was hit hard. So it got by him. And if you're Marcus Timms, you read a little better, you might have scored. Might have been an RBI for Alex Rodriguez. Well, still, he's over third with one out. Yeah, you got to check the infielders too.
Here's Randy Wynn. Randy is 1 for 2. Singled his last time up, scored a run. Backdoor breaking ball is good for a strike. Pitch outside.
First 6 hitters in the Yankee order. Each hitter has at least 1 hit.
Last 4 seasons with the Giants, Randy Wynn did not have a good year last year. Was not double figures in home runs. Before that, 306, then 300, 262. So he sandwiched those 262s around 300 years.
AT&T Park. Now Randy Wynn's a switch hitter. That's a tough park for left-handed hitters. That big wall out in right field, it looks imposing.
Grounded softly to third. They're going to come home, and the throw is high and past Chavez. Tim scores. A-Rod will move to third. Moving to second is Wynn, and the Yankees lead 5-2.
Well, Blue Jay defense getting a little porous here in the 5th inning. Marcus Timms broke right away. And Randy Wynn's going to get himself a run batted in because Marcus Timms was coming right away. The throw well over the head of Chavez. Yankees have their 5th run, and both runners move up. A-Rod's going to go to third, and Randy Wynn's going to move down to second. Did you think he had a chance at Timms at the plate?
Not really.
I don't think so
it
either.
would have taken a great play to get him.
Good. Plus, Marcus is not the shortest guy. He had to get the ball over his head.
2 runs in, runners on second and third with 1 out. So the Blue Jays bring the infield in. Here's Ramiro Pena. And there's a backdoor breaking ball strike.
So Wynn reaches on a fielder's choice, and it's an E5, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Count 1-1.
Zepchinski does not have the sharpness he had earlier in the game. I don't know if he's reaching his limit, getting a little tired here. Remember, he's in a race for one of the starting slots in the rotation. He's thrown 83 pitches thus far, and he's battling with 2 others, Brett Cecil and Dana Evelyn.
Well, he's got his last name stitched on his glove. That must be an extra long glove to get Zepchinski.
I bet you they call back and make sure of the spelling.
It's off Zipchinski, goes to Hill. They check the runner back to third. The out is made at first, and Zipchinski's hurting. You score that 1-4-3, but that's mundane. You want to see that he's okay.
Actually, that ball was headed back through the middle, and it would have been at least one more run. Instead, you have an injured left-hander on the mound. Sharp one hopper. Man, he stuck the bare hand out there. Just trying to slow it down, and I don't know if they caught him on the bare hand or the forearm. You can see Aaron Hill completing the play, and we're going to have a new pitcher coming to the ball game.
I think it got him on the hand, Kenny. Check this out.
Let's right here in slow motion. Yep. Ooh, maybe the thumb.
Oh. It's a natural reaction. They always say don't do that, but you can't tell a pitcher to go up against his instincts, and you can see he is really hurting. So Cito Gaston goes to the bullpen. Zipchinski's night is over, keeps looking at his hand. A doctor's going to be looking at his hand in short order. We'll tell you what we know. Yankees lead 5-2.
The 2009 New York Yankees are world champions.
Make plans for the 2010 season and host your group in a Yankee Stadium suite. Suites are perfect for entertaining family, friends, and business associates. Sizes range from 12 to 74 guests, and all suites feature all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. For more information, call 646-977-8900 or visit yankees.com/suites.
Get Nissan quality now. Get safety now. Get savings now. This is Nissan Now. A sales event with our best deals ever on our strongest lineup ever. 0% financing on every sedan, crossover, truck, and SUV. Plus, lease Ultima, $199 a month. Hurry, event ends March 31st. Get to Nissan now.
Come on, back it up. It's the third time this month. What happened this time?
Number one, ice is slippery. Number two, this thing wasn't calibrated before I drove it.
Yeah, same dasher board, same excuse.
Ask Mike Green. He was on the ice the whole time. Tell him, Mike.
Guys, he drove straight into it, and I'm pretty sure he yelled bullseye.
He's just kidding. We need a second opinion.
Bubby Buzzachero on in relief to face John Weber. There's a strike. That's his name, Bubby Buzzachero. Didn't have bad numbers in the minors last year. Actually, very good numbers.
He's throwing BBs.
The 0-1 fouled away, 0-2. Odd to see a pitcher with a single-digit number on his bat. I think when Josh Towers was on the Blue Jays, he had number 7.
Yeah. Couldn't get it when he came to the Yankees.
No, that's not in the rotation.
That is hallowed ground.
In fact, that was just like Josh, not in the rotation. The Blue Jays brought along 8 minor league invitees to fill out their roster as they made the trip from Dunedin, which is about a half hour from here.
Just a little bit north of Clearwater on US 19.
That was one of the reasons that Roy Halladay really wanted to be traded to the Phillies or the Yankees, because he has a home in Dunedin and he could stay in his home for 6 more weeks. Didn't want to be traded to a team that trained in Arizona and wanted a team that had a chance to win. The 1-2. Grounded to first. Overbay, and that's going to do it as Weber is retired. So Buzzachero comes on. He gets out of further trouble. Yankees put 2 more on the board. They lead 5-2 here on Yes.
Energy drink
strength for your feet. With ZigTech, I get more train, less pain.
We're Big Bucks Auto. You've seen us on TV.
You've heard us on the radio.
We pay top dollar for thousands of vehicles, and we're still buying stronger than ever.
Don't spend your hard-earned money on costly ads that just don't work. Then have psychos coming to your home.
No more bait and switch trade-ins and not knowing what you're really getting for your car.
Drive in for your free cash appraisal. We'll make you an offer and give you big bucks on the spot.
Even if it's leased or financed. Call us today at Big Bucks Auto, 888-44-BUCKS.
Kyle!
What's up, Mom?
You went on a 29,000-mile joyride in my brand new BMW?
Mom, it's pre-owned.
But your father said it was new.
Yeah, new as in you didn't have it before.
Looks like new, performs like new. And with a warranty for up to 6 years or 100,000 miles, it's hard to believe it's pre-owned.
Wait till your father hears about this.
He knows all about it.
For 500 years, Koreans have been practicing a unique heat therapy. This historical therapy was revealed by the 12 different types of saunas to release your daily fatigues and to restore yourself. Refresh your body and mind with the heat of a 500-year-old tradition. King Spa and Fitness.
The red hot Nets take on the Suns at the Izod Center. Complete coverage starts at 7 with the Nets pregame. Then Ian Eagle and Mike Fratello have the courtside call. Suns, Nets, tomorrow night at 7, only on Yes. A big win for the Nets last night. They beat the Spurs. It's their 10th win of the year, so they will now not go down as the NBA team with the worst record of all time. The Ford scoreboard has the Yankees leading 5-2 as we go to the 6th inning. Dave Island chatting with Andrew Eugene Pettit. And he's been a spectator most of the spring. Has not gotten into many games, but he will start game 3 against the Red Sox. I guess that's the one on Wednesday night.
Well, Andy is scheduled to start on Friday, and that game will be on Yes against the Baltimore Orioles. Andy's had to check the weather reports before his start. There's been a lot of rain on days that he's scheduled to pitch.
Right in on the fist, popped up. Cervelli giving chase. He can't get there.
So Andy in the clubhouse before the game looks in really great condition.
I wonder why Andy's still here.
He's a member of the team.
Yeah, but not in spring training. If you're not pitching, you usually go home.
He's been a team player his whole career, and you're questioning him?
I'm not questioning him. I'm glad he's here. Just don't understand why. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not.
Meanwhile, Mitre, who is pitching tonight, has only had one bad inning. That was the 4th. He got a bounce back inning in the 5th. Came right back after giving up the 2-run homer to Aaron Hill with a 1-2-3 inning. And he's ahead on the count here.
Check swing. The count 2-2. Yankees open the season on the road, 3 games in Boston and then 3 games in St. Pete. Might have made more sense to actually play the first 3 games in St. Pete rather than travel up north and then back down to where you started. But they don't ask me when they make out the schedules. A changeup as Raul Chavez swings and misses.
You know, it's been difficult to do that because the Rays are playing Baltimore at Tampa Bay to start the season. You understand what I mean?
Oh, I understand, but no, I'm just thinking about the wear and tear on this team. Andy Pettit, this is why he's been a spectator most of the spring. Only really 1 game against Major League competition, March 17th against the Phillies, 4 innings, 55 pitches. And he threw an inning against the Tigers, but that got washed away. That first game of the Tampa series for the Yankees will be started by David Price. And for the Yankees, it'll be Javier Vasquez. Nick Johnson makes the catch to retire Bautista.
I guess you have to classify Hill's season last year as a breakout season, although I thought he would have had it the year before, but he had that horrendous concussion. Ran into teammate David Eckstein, both chasing a pop-up, and that derailed his season in 2008. So last year he had the breakout season.
Count 1-1.
And this is, well, looks like he's going to continue. Oh, man, that ball was hit hard. 2-run shot, and those are the Jays' 2 runs.
That one's drilled deep to left field. Giving chase is Timms, and he's there and makes the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So Mitre has retired the last 8 in a row. He's thrown 70 pitches. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 5-2 Yanks.
Why design a vehicle with 88 vibration control measures? Why engineer 20 available systems that sense and respond to your needs before you're even aware of them? Because the average driver spends over 40,000 hours of their lifetime driving. The 2010 Lexus ES, uniquely designed to make every hour feel just as remarkable as the first. Lease the 2010 ES 350 for $479 a month for 36 months, with $1179 due at signing.
Was it the number 7 train that carried his barrels across the land? Or was 7 simply his lucky number? Some say there were 7 women in his life, but one held a special place in his heart. Truth is, only Jack Daniel knows the true meaning of old number 7. And we won't be hearing from him anytime soon.
And if you go with us, it'll be a win-win.
Certainly will.
I think this could be a win-win.
Maybe. This is going to be a win-win.
Win-win.
A what? A win-win!
You should say win-win. Use a hyphen. You know what this is?
A win-win?
A home run.
That's my next guess.
Win-win. Win-win.
Drink?
Man, this trip was great. I mean, I'm just, pumped.
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
The Sunday Daily News is celebrating modern Yankee heroes with great commemorative magazines. Each Sunday, get a big, full-color magazine of a Yankee hero, packed with extraordinary action shots, career highlights, and stats, plus a player poster. This Sunday, get Burn, Baby Burn, Bernie Williams. Yours free only in the Sunday Daily News.
Francisco Cervelli takes outside on the Ford scoreboard. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 5-2 Yankees.
Blue Jays have made a couple of changes defensively. I believe that's Aaron Matthews in right field. And second baseman is Mike McCoy.
Driven into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. Vernon Wells cuts the ball off in the gap, and Cervelli gets himself a leadoff double.
Cervelli started the game hitting at .345. So he's had himself a very good spring, a hanging breaking ball from Buzzicchero, and Cervelli turns it into a 2-base hit. Runs it up the gap. Vernon Wells has been busy in center field tonight.
A lot of running. Here's Greg Golson. Count 1-0. Grounded in the hole. Backhanded by Gonzalez. Hill throw across the diamond, but Golson's too quick. If Golson makes the shortstop move right or left, he's got a chance to beat it out.
Gonzalez did everything right and even got rid of the ball very quickly. But we talked about Golson. Speed doesn't take a vacation. And he was right on time going down the line for a base hit. Let's watch him going down the line. No chance to get it.
Inside to Jeter.
This is going to create a little stir in the crowd. They don't like pitchers coming close to the captain. Pitches up and in. I think Derek has done one thing better over the years, getting his hands out of the way on those pitches. Remember, he used to get hit in the hand a lot?
All the time.
Yeah, now he seems to be much more adept at getting those hands out of the way.
One. Count 1-2. Jeter's not had the best spring average-wise, but today's 2 for 2 with a walk. 2 runs scored, a stolen base, so he's starting to round into shape. Chop slowly towards second. They'll get 1, and that's all they'll get. Cervelli moves to third.
Creates an opportunity for Nick Johnson to drive in yet another run with a runner on third and 1 out.
Pitch is low. Nick Johnson today, RBI single in the first. That's a ground ball to center. Double play, 6-4-3 in the third. Then he reached on an E4 in the fifth. Shattered bat, ground ball to second. This could be 2. And there it is, although that was the neighborhood play at second. And Derek Jeter is looking at the second base umpire and saying, "You've got to be kidding me." Check this out. Was his foot on the bag? I don't think so. We'll go to the 7th and try to make sense of it.
The 2009 New York Yankees are world champions.
Come out to Yankee Stadium in 2010 to see the 27-time world champion New York Yankees in action. Don't miss Magnetic Schedule Night on Friday, April 16th, when the Yankees take on the Rangers. All fans in attendance will receive a 2010 Yankees Magnetic Schedule, courtesy of AT&T. In 2010, come home to Yankee Stadium, the home of champions.
As long as we're winding up our doing dials, let's wind them with precision. Open our throttle to even more selection and turn that savings swagger up full tilt. So when the time comes to bust open a can of doing, we've got all the tools for all the things we need to make them happen. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, get Scott's Naturescapes mulch for the new lower price of just $3.88.
I thought if you had an older home, there was no way you could reduce your energy costs.
Boy, was I wrong.
We had our house performance tested by a contractor, certified by the Building Performance Institute.
We found a host of problems that could be corrected.
They showed us what it would cost
And how much we'd save this year.
and for years to come. We've reduced our energy use 45 to 50%.
And it's good for the environment.
How can you beat that?
For more true stories of how New Yorkers are saving energy, log on to getenergysmart.org.
Hi, I'm PC, your predictably correct morning radio guy.
He's not PC, he's Imus.
I have guests like Beyonce. Who do you get?
Senators, presidents, network anchors, authors, rock stars.
But we do our chopper traffic updates and tell people how to dress for the weather.
Yeah, we do updates, but we let listeners wear what they want.
Imus on 77 WABC.
Nice looking moon overhead, but the moon is probably blinking and going, was that an out at second? Kenny, was it?
I don't think so. But according to the second base umpire, Damian Beal, he was in the neighborhood. You can see that Gonzalez's foot is off the bag when he catches the ball.
Yankees should protest the game. Damaso Marte comes on. And there's a strike.
Good inning to bring Marte out of the bullpen. A fine job by Mitre, but two left-handed hitters scheduled to come up in this inning for Toronto.
High fly ball, fairly deep center. Going back, Golson, still back. He makes the play on the run. Covering a lot of ground out in center field.
Well, that ball was initially hit. I didn't think it was going this far. Golson, man, that speed pays off. Got himself an infield hit, and now a nice running catch up against the wall in left center field. Well, that had pretty good sound to it when Lind hit it. But Golson runs underneath it and makes the catch. Speed pays dividends.
Here's Vernon Wells. That one is chopped left side. A-Rod bobbles and does not make the throw. That'll be an E5. Rodriguez cut in front of Jeter, but could not handle it cleanly.
It looked like the transfer from glove to hand, maybe trying to be a little too quick. Didn't get the grip. Here's another look. You know, Wells has decent speed, maybe feeling he has to hurry and can't make the play.
Darren Mastroianni is the pinch runner. And Overbay fouls it back. Marte has struggled this spring. 5 hits in 2 innings. He was the unsung hero of the postseason, though. Came in, got all the big outs against left-handers. He was almost automatic out of the pen in all 3 series. And that was after a season of shoulder woes where he hardly pitched. Ground ball base hit through the right side. Mastroianni is going to go for 3. Wynn's throw is cut off. So Overbay with a single, and Mastroianni is on third.
This is a hanging breaking ball, and the target's low and away, but the pitch does not get there. It stays over the inner third. And that's what that hole is there for. Get something you can pull. Overbay does the job. Mastroianni's on his way to third, makes it easily. And the Blue Jays are in business. They're in the top of the 7th.
Quick talk by Dave Island, the Yankee pitching coach. Pinch runner for Overbay is Randy Ruiz, kid from the Bronx. And Overbay was 1 for 3 tonight. And that's going to bring up Edwin Encarnacion. There's Ruiz, not your typical pinch runner, but he'll take over at first base for Overbay.
Yeah, he's a power hitter.
Count 1-0.
You mentioned Encarnacion is playing catch up because got off to a slow start. He had an injury to his wrist, and he's just now starting to get into ball games. Blue Jays got him last year in the deal that sent Scott Rowland to Cincinnati.
The 2-1. Off-speed pitch is high, and the count 3-1. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. Yankees are leading this one 5-2. Runners on first and third with 1 out. Count 3-2.
And Josh Renicky, we saw him at the big league level last year working out of the Blue Jays bullpen. He's got a strong arm. And at the time we were doing the games last season, I mentioned that Ed actually played with his dad, Gary, who was an outfielder with the Orioles back in the day. Every year he gets further back in the day.
Breaking ball misses inside. Marte stares into Mark Wegner's it to say, where was that? Well, it was out of the zone and the bases are loaded.
That was the first walk handed out by a Yankee pitcher tonight. Mitre, we talked about how well he pitched. Well, you call it. Call this one at home. Ball to strike. Marte staring in at the home plate umpire. Hey, what do I got to do? Mitre struck out 5, didn't walk anybody in 6 innings.
High fly ball, deep left. Golson cuts in front of Timms. He'll make the catch. Tagging and scoring is Mastriani. The runners stay put, so they're 2 away on the sac fly, and now the Yankees lead 5-3.
Timms looks like he's about ready to make the catch, but Golson steps in front. Center fielder's the captain out there, and he makes an accurate throw to third base. He's got a lot of range. Some left fielders would say you got a lot of nerve.
Popped up. Nick Johnson. It is a high pop-up. It comes down in Johnson's glove for the final out of the 7th inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left at the end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead 5-3.
Drink for your feet. With ZigTech, I get more train, less pain.
So now you can get a great deal on any Volkswagen.
Green one.
Oh, like our award-winning CC.
White one.
Or the fuel-efficient Jetta.
Ooh, red one.
Or the Tiguan.
Black one. Oh, 2 for flinching.
Plus, every Volkswagen includes no-charge scheduled carefree maintenance.
Silver one.
Oh.
On any Volkswagen?
Yeah.
With great deals on all 13 models,
White one.
It's a whole new Volkswagen and a whole new game.
It's time for...
Welcome back. These 3 television providers claim to have the most HD channels. Judges, who will you believe?
Pass. We have the most HD channels. If you count our part-time HD channels. We have over 130 channels, all HD, all the time. All the time. All the time.
Judges?
If this were to tell a lie, I'd be crushing you.
Now that you've got the truth, get DirecTV. Stay tuned.
Bet you can't wait for the 2010 season to begin. Well, you can. Subscribe now to MLB.tv to see over 150 select spring training games, plus every regular season game live or on demand on your computer. For complete details, visit Yankees.com. Baseball everywhere. Sean Camp, the new pitcher for the Blue Jays. And he gets Marcus Timms to swing and miss. Yankees lead 5-3. That's what Camp has done in camp.
See with his delivery, good sinker. Timms had a booming double to the gap in right center. That was his last time up. He also scored a run. There is the veteran utility infielder, John McDonald. Very slick fielder. Shortstop tonight takes over for Alex Gonzalez.
Timms 1 for 3 tonight. Swing and a miss. Timms down on strikes. One away here in the 7th.
Looks like he might have chased a pitch out of the strike zone. You think fastball, you get it, but you got to really zone in. Yeah, that not a strike.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Well, Sports Illustrated came out today with their baseball preview issue. And they have the Yankees winning the American League East.
Gotcha.
And they have the wild card coming out of the East, but it's not what you would expect. They have the Tampa Bay Rays winning the wild card with the Red Sox finishing 3rd. Mariano Rivera getting ready. That one is grounded to 3rd. It's a fair ball. And Alex Rodriguez is down on the 5-3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. But their World Series pick is the Phillies against the Rays, and the Phillies beating the Rays in the World Series.
Again?
Yep, same as 2 years ago. But before Yankee fans get very upset and start to be concerned that SI picked against the Yankees, remember, SI last year on their cover of the baseball preview issue predicted that the New York Mets would win the World Series. So 92 losses later, they were wrong.
Right city, wrong borough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just about 10 minutes away. Pitch outside to Randy Wynn.
You know, the predictions are fine, but a lot of things can happen between, April and October. A lot of injuries. Look what happened to the Mets.
It's all for fun, those predictions. I mean, how could anybody know? I mean, 2 weeks ago, well, 3 weeks ago, you say definitely, well, the Twins are definitely winning the Central. Well, now Joe Nathan's out, so you have to redo your pick, probably.
How many people had Kansas winning the NCAA tournament?
The president did.
Yeah, well, see? Can't win it every year.
Two. Swing and a miss. That's an impressive 7th inning for Sean Camp as he retires the Yankees in order 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. 7 in the books here in Tampa. Yankees lead 5-3. Coming on, Mariano Rivera.
The Cadillac Laurel sales event featuring the acclaimed CTS sports sedan, a car and driver 10 best for the 3rd year in a row. With a direct injection V6 engine. See your Cadillac dealer soon, because while there is no expiration date on achievement, on rewarding it, there is. For qualified current lessees, the CTS Luxury Collection.
In the NBA,
You're always looking for an edge. You need to know your opponent better than they know themselves. Kobe, Carmelo, LeBron. I get my edge with NBA League Pass from DirecTV. I see every game, so I'm always ready. Are you?
Watch any NBA game you want, no matter where you live. Call today.
We're Big Bucks Auto. You've seen us on TV.
You've heard us on the radio.
We pay top dollar for thousands of vehicles, and we're still buying stronger than ever.
Don't spend your hard-earned money on costly ads that just don't work. Then have psychos coming to your home.
No more bait-and-switch trade-ins and not knowing what you're really getting for your car.
Drive in for your free cash appraisal. We'll make you an offer and give you big bucks on the spot.
Even if it's leased or financed. Call us today at Big Bucks Auto, 888-44-BUCKS.
Kyle!
What's up, Mom?
You went on a 29,000-mile joyride in my brand new BMW?
Mom, it's pre-owned.
But your father said it was new.
Yeah, new as in you didn't have it before.
Looks like new, performs like new. And with a warranty for up to 6 years or 100,000 miles, it's hard to believe it's pre-owned.
Wait till your father hears about this.
He knows all about it.
Tomorrow afternoon, the Yankees take on the Twins right here at Steinbrenner Field. The coverage will start at 1 when Ken Singleton and Tino Martinez bring you the call. And then the wait is almost over. Day is this Sunday. The Yankees take on the Red Sox at Fenway Park. Expanded coverage starts Sunday at 7, exclusively on Yes. Mariano Rivera comes on to pitch the 8th inning. Line drive, caught by Pena. No, check that. That's not Pena.
It's like Regi Corona.
That's Regi Corona. They made the change.
Corona tested right away. And he makes the play.
It's a nice play. There's Aaron Matthews. And there's a strike.
Aaron Matthews, maybe named after 2 Hall of Famers who played together.
Eddie Matthews and Hank Aaron.
Yeah, and at one time they held the record for most home runs by teammates.
Mariano, his 5th game of the spring. He says he usually needs about 7 innings of work, and he's ready to go. Count 2-1. Count 3-1. So many people are concerned about, well, who's going to take over the closer role when Mariano is no longer here? And Mariano has said he wants to pitch a couple more years. I asked Brian Cashman about it the other day. He said, you know, we always plan for everything. He said, but to be honest, he said, the guy who's going to replace Mariano might not even be here. It could be in high school. He said, you can't sit here and worry about, you know, when Mariano's not going to be here. He said, it doesn't show any signs of losing his stuff. He said, so, you know, everybody was saying, well, Jaba's going to eventually take over for Mariano. He said, we don't know who's going to take over for Mariano. This is the projected bullpen this year. You have no idea who the 8th inning guy is going to be. It's not necessarily going to be Jaba. Could be Robertson, could be Aceves. They like Chan-Ho Park a lot. He throws a lot harder pitching out of the bullpen. And the 3-2, strike 3. Paints the inside corner.
Does he get credit for striking out 2 Hall of Famers, Aaron and Matthews? Right on the corner. You know, Mariano called the catcher out there just to talk to him and said, this is how I want to do it. Put the glove there, I'll put the ball in it.
And that's P.J. Pelletera. There's Mike McCoy. Tries to bunt. Fouls it off. That could be the next Yankee closer right there. Mariano says he wants to pitch 5 more years.
It's going to be 15 at the most.
You think he's 15 now?
No, I said he will be in 5 more years.
Well, then he's not the next one.
No, he's not.
I think it might be a good idea to be the closer who follows the guy who follows Mariano. Good spring training for Mike McCoy, but an 0-2 count against Rivera. Tries that inside pitch again, but misses. By how much? Not much.
Not much.
And the 1-2.
Corner to corner.
And the 1-2. Buzzed him upstairs. You know, people talk about the drop in velocity that Mariano has had over the years, but the funny thing is that the ball moves more with less velocity.
You know, and plus, you toss in location because he's usually around the glove and very rarely in the middle of the plate. So that it's not only velocity, it's location and ability to throw strike after strike.
Line drive, and that'll do it. As Mike McCoy hit it hard, but right at third base for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning for Mariano Rivera. Let's take this to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees are leading by 2, 5-3.
Years ago, the world was faced with a challenge. And Lexus responded by building the world's first luxury hybrid. Today, Lexus has 4 hybrid models on the road, including the HS, the most fuel-efficient of all luxury vehicles. Lease the 2010 HS 250H for $369 a month for 36 months, with $19.99 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
As long as we're winding up our doing dials, let's wind them with precision. Open our throttle to even more selection and turn that savings swagger up full tilt. So when the time comes to bust open a can of doing, we've got all the tools for all the things we need to make them happen. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, get Scott's Naturescapes mulch for the new lower price of just $3.88.
Right now, all over New York, people are becoming shining examples of energy efficiency.
We fixed the farm.
By changing all their old-fashioned light bulbs to Energy Star qualified CFLs that use less energy and last longer. Upload a video of your big change-out and you could be featured in our next TV commercial. You'll also win a free home performance assessment and free bulb makeovers for 10 of your neighbors. Upload your video at shiningexampleny.com.
Want to know what it takes to be a leader? How about just being the best? Like Ford Escape. This SUV gets up to an unbelievable 28 miles per gallon. And during our leadership sales drive, you can get 0% financing plus $2,000 cash back. That's both 0% and $2,000 cash. Plus, Ford has quality that is unsurpassed by Honda and Toyota. And now you can lease for only $239 a month. Ford Escape. Less stops at the pump. More savings in your wallet. The leadership sales drive at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Casey Jansen on in relief deals to Ramiro Pena, and the pitch outside 1-0. Yankees lead 5-3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pena 1 for 3 today. Gets tied up with that one. Count 1-1.
Like a nice tight cutter in on the hands. Jansen at one time was Started with the Blue Jays, now working out of the bullpen. He's had some injury issues to deal with, but looks like he's throwing pretty good, at least the first couple of pitches here. 6 strikeouts.
Now the count on the board was 1-1, but I guess they called one of the pitches.
No. The catcher, Kyle Phillips, hit Pena with the ball when he was throwing it back to the pitcher. The target is in. He gets the call strike. Now watch this.
Oh.
Right off the helmet.
Very lucky that he didn't hit him in the ear.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can smile about it now.
Take a look for Mark. There it is. You know, in the minors, you have to wear the double ear flap. And there's an example of where that could come in handy if that had hit him right in the ear. And as a switch hitter, usually switch hitters do have double ear flaps. Dribbled slowly. First base out of the mound. Jansen off quickly. And there's one away. Tonight's game on Yes is brought to you in part by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. By Nacerta. Go to shiningexampleny.com to find out how you can be in one of our next TV commercials. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Here's John Weber, who is 0 for 3 with an RBI ground out tonight. Looks like Ramiro is okay. Check swing, he does go around, said the third base umpire Vic Caratoza. Swing and a miss.
You know, what happens during spring training games is that the home plate umpire stays constant, but the umpires on the bases actually move around to get some work at each and every position during the course of the game.
Chop back to the mound, Jansen. 2 away. So John Weber, who came into the game hitting .560, 0 for 4 tonight. And as they get closer to cut time, this is not the day that John wanted to be 0 for 4. Here's Austin Romine. And that one is lofted to right field. Aaron Matthews is there, and he retires one of the Yankees' big prospects, catcher Austin Romine. We go to the 9th inning. Last licks coming up for the Jays, 5-3 Yanks lead.
So now you can get a great deal on any Volkswagen.
Green one.
Oh, like our award-winning CC?
White one.
Or the fuel-efficient Jetta?
Ooh, red one.
Or the Tiguan?
Black one. Oh, 2 for flinching.
Plus, every Volkswagen includes no-charge scheduled carefree maintenance.
Silver one.
Oh. On any Volkswagen?
Yeah. With great deals on all 13 models,
White one.
It's a whole new Volkswagen and a whole new game.
Cold, clean, iron-free. This was the water he'd been searching for, down in the hollow, where he would build his business, never varying from his recipe, staying true to the process, growing to meet a demand that would stretch far beyond the hills of Tennessee. Quite a feat for the little man from the middle of nowhere, who knew he had something so special. He was proud to give it his name.
With an EPA-estimated 32 mpg highway, Chevy Equinox offers up to 600 highway miles between fill-ups. That's like going from LA to the Grand Canyon or from Aspen to Amarillo. You won't get nearly as far in a RAV4 CRV, but You'll still meet a few interesting people along the way.
Equinox, the most fuel-efficient crossover on the highway, starting at only $23,360. Call 877-64-CHEVY.
The Sunday Daily News is celebrating modern Yankee heroes with great commemorative magazines. Each Sunday, get a big, full-color magazine of a Yankee hero, packed with extraordinary action shots, career highlights, and stats, plus a player poster. This Sunday, get Burn, Baby Burn, Bernie Williams. Yours free only in the Sunday Daily News.
Let's look now at the American Airlines upcoming schedule. Tomorrow against the Twins right here on Yes. That's a 1 o'clock start. Then against the Orioles on Friday, also on Yes at 1 o'clock. Then Saturday, it's against the Yankee All-Stars. That's right, Yankees against the Yankees. The youngsters against the 25-man roster. That'll be a 1 o'clock start on Yes. They're future stars, they're calling them.
You're going to see Montero and Romine, several of the pitchers. Maybe Andrew Brackman.
Yankees trying to nail this one down and get a split of the split squad. They lost 9-6 to the Braves in Disneyland. Disney World. Disneyland's in Anaheim.
Yeah, it is. Been there a long time, too.
It's not moving. Boone Logan's trying to stick as a second lefty on the Yankees. It's going to be tough mathematically unless Aceves can't start the season because of the bad back. But Logan has impressed them. And here's Adam Lynn. And there was a strike.
After one day, Aceves said he actually felt some improvement. But he had that problem last year for a while, if I remember correct.
Toward the end of the year. Count 1-1. Blue Jays 10-11 coming into this game. The Yankees 11-14. Swing and a miss. Count 1-2.
Actually, Logan this spring, working with pitching coach Dave Island, has made some adjustments to his delivery. And what it's done is made him more consistent around the strike zone and within the strike zone with his pitches. So fine tuning.
Nub slowly. Boone Logan off the mound. Fires to first. Scoop is made. One away.
Here's a little number off the end of the bat. Throw was not front line, but a nice play over there. And that's Vasquez who comes up with it, digs it out of the dirt.
Here's Darren Mastriani. Pitch outside. You can see he's a speed guy. 1 home run, 51 ribbies last year in the minors.
Good on base percentage.
Yankees got Logan in the deal that brought Javi Vasquez back to the Bronx. Always valuable to have another lefty. Logan was with the White Sox and then with the Braves. He's bounced around, but he's got a good arm.
Yeah, there's situations in a game where you might need a left-hander just for one at bat with 2 outs and maybe a big left-handed hitter coming, and you want to get him out late in the ball game, and you go to that left-hander to do it, and then you have the other left-hander in the bullpen to maybe pitch an inning where there are 2 or 3 left-handed hitters scheduled.
Mastriani works a walk. And here's Randy Ruiz, who has the power to tie this game. He's had a good spring training.
Young man from the Bronx.
James Monroe High School. First base is taken, but he's trying to stick as the DH with the Blue Jays. He's had an awful lot of good years in the minor leagues, a lot of home runs. Has also gotten into some trouble in the minors with performance-enhancing drugs a couple of times. James Monroe has produced a couple of former big leaguers you might know about. Ed Kranepool and Hank Greenberg. And also, my dad went to James Monroe.
He was big league, wasn't he?
He was big league to me. I think Ed Kranepool went right from James Monroe to the Mets.
One of their first big bonus babies.
1-2. Strike three. Paints the inside corner. Ruiz down looking.
Target for Romine is right on the corner, and that's right where the ball is. Close enough with 2 strikes. You don't want to take this. You can see Ruiz definitely thinks it's inside, but the Yankees get the call. 2 down. One thing about the game tonight with the Yankees, I think you have to be impressed with their pitching. Mitre did a great job as a starter, just 1 bad inning.
Marte was hurt by the E5, allowing a run, but a perfect inning by Rivera. Now Boone Logan.
Unearned run against Marte.
Check swing, did he go? No, he did not.
We get another look, the benefit of a second look, a replay. Instantly, that would tell you he swung at it.
2-1 count on Encarnacion. Runner goes. High fly ball, center field. This should do it. Golson's there. He'll put it away, and the Yankees win the game 5-3. So Joe Girardi gets a split of the split squad doubleheader in the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. So the Yankees with a run in the first, 2 in the 4th, and 2 in the 5th, and that held up behind some pretty good pitching. And the Yankees picked up their 12th victory of the spring. They are 12 wins and 14 losses. 5-10-1 for the Yanks, 3-4-2 for the Blue Jays as the Yankees creep closer to Sunday when they open the season against the Boston Red Sox. Those kids can't wait, neither can we. We'll be back.
I've been told to desire a red Italian sports car.
I've been told beige and predictable fit my lifestyle.
We've been told hollow status symbols are the goal.
I've been told it captures my essence.
Break the spell at your local Audi dealer today.
Hey, dude,
Please, don't even talk to me until I have my coffee. Okay?
Oh, hey, Tim.
Sorry, I haven't had my coffee yet. No.
Morning. Welcome to McDonald's. Can I interest you in a
Not before I have my coffee.
premium roast coffee for just $1?
Talk to me.
Introducing McDonald's new $1 menu at breakfast. Try a cup of freshly brewed premium roast coffee for just $1 each every day, and you'll see why nobody makes breakfast like McDonald's.
I like your scarf. It's beautiful out, huh?
I have my new 2010 Toyota Venza. This was my first choice, and I stuck with it. Now is absolutely the smartest time to buy a Toyota.
This is the opportunity you've been waiting for, but time is running out to take advantage of these historic offers. So see your Toyota dealer and get a $179 a month lease on a 2010 Prius. Or choose the Toyota Venza. Now you can lease a 2010 Venza for just $229 a month.
That's the best deal you could ever get.
Time to take a look at the plays of the game, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Kenny?
Well, Sergio Mitre on the mound had 5 strikeouts in the game. Adam Lynn in the first inning, Edwin Encarnacion in the second, Travis Snyder in the third, Alex Gonzalez in the fifth, and Raul Chavez. Boom, he's gone. That was in the sixth. Those are our Geico plays of the game.
And the Yankees hold on to win this one 5-3. They lost the day portion of the split doubleheader 9-6 to the Braves. They win this one 5-3, 5-10-1, beating 3-4-2. Mitre the win, Zipchinski the loss, Logan the save. Time of the game 2:24. Mitre 6 innings, and Derek Jeter starting to get a stroke. 2 for 3, a triple, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. Well, that's going to do it. Please join us again tomorrow for Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the Minnesota Twins right here at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Our coverage is going to begin at 1 p.m. right here on the Yes Network. Special thanks have to go out to Troy Benjamin, John Moore, Woody Fryman, and Mr. John Filippelli. Once again, our final score, the Yankees 5 and the Toronto Blue Jays 3. For Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Have a good night, everybody. So long.
It's time for
Welcome back. These 3 television providers claim to have the most HD channels. Judges, who will you believe?
Pass. We have the most HD channels. If you count our part-time HD channels. We have over 130 channels, all HD, all the time. All the time. All the time.
Judges?
If this were to tell a lie, I'd be crushing you.
Now that you've got the truth, get DirecTV. Stay tuned.
As long as we're winding up our doing dials, let's wind them with precision. Open our throttle to even more selection and turn that savings swagger up full tilt. So when the time comes to bust open a can of doing, we've got all the tools for all the things we need to make them happen. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, get Scott's Naturescapes mulch for the new lower price of just $3.88.
For 500 years, Koreans have been practicing a unique heat therapy. This historical therapy was revealed by the 12 different types of saunas to release your daily fatigues and to restore yourself. Refresh your body and mind with the heat of a 500-year-old tradition. King Spa and Fitness.
We're Big Bucks Auto. You've seen us on TV. You've heard us on the radio. We pay top dollar for thousands of vehicles, and we're still buying stronger than ever.
Don't spend your hard-earned money on costly ads that just don't work. Then have psychos coming to your home.
No more bait-and-switch trade-ins and not knowing what you're really getting for your car.
Drive in for your free cash appraisal. We'll make you an offer and give you big bucks on the spot.
Even if it's leased or financed. Call us today at Big Bucks Auto, 888-44-BUCKS.
And Posada down swinging.
Yeah. Georgie, it's for you.
Hello? Didn't I tell you to stop chasing that high stuff?
Dad?
And open up your stands. They're jamming you inside.
You gotta love DirecTV. Georgie's dad never misses a pitch, all the way from Florida. And he gets the most games in HD.
Follow your favorite team no matter where you live with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
Hello? Dad?
Is an exclusive presentation of the Yes Network.
This organization all along has preached that, you win. That's the bottom line. It's what you play for.
Winning a World Series, it has a lot more than just one person saying, oh, that's going to be my goal. You got to have a great team.
To play the new Yankee Stadium and win a championship in the first season of that stadium, it's just been a great ride so far.
It's nothing like it. Biggest city in the world, and being able to win a championship was a great feeling. It's nothing like winning a championship in New York.
It's everything I envisioned or dreamed about since I was, 5 years old. But now we want more. It becomes an addiction, and you want to just keep winning.
It's not easy to win. Teams are going to be ready for us. They're going to try to get us, but we have to get that swagger. We have to get that chip on our shoulders and go out there and play like world champions.
From George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, I'm Kimberly Jones, and this is Yankees 2010 Pride, Power, and Pinstripes, an in-depth look at the reigning world champions as they prepare to defend their crown. Last year couldn't have been more special for the Yankees. They christened their new stadium with winning baseball, from walk-off wonders and whipped cream pies all the way through postseason glory. And what effect did that 27th World Championship have? Well, it made the Yankees hungry.